Welcome back to Attorneys on Call. In our last segment, we met Kathleen, a client of the Whitley Law Firm, who tragically lost her son in an automobile accident. And Bob, you've developed a wonderful relationship with Kathleen here. And tell us a little bit about a wrongful death situation that you had to deal with, and the legal work that you had to do to really work on Kathleen's behalf.
I will, Drew. In North Carolina, if you're killed by someone's negligence, you have what is called a wrongful death claim. And our statute provides for both economic loss recovery, that is your wages for those people that were dependent on you,
okay,
as well as non-economic loss. And we really didn't talk a lot about that, but I don't think we have to say much about that.
Sure.
That's the things like loss of companionship and protection. And I know Kathleen has shared stories with me about how she would wait every afternoon and just miss the sound of him driving up in his pickup truck. But she also had, and we've talked on the show before about a third-party claim. That is, he was killed on the job by a third party. So he had the estate, we had a claim against her insurance,
okay,
as well as a workers' comp. Now,
okay,
in North Carolina, a workers' comp death claim is kind of figured by statute. You figure that 2/3 of that average gross wages,
okay,
and then you get 500 weeks of that, and you can actually be paid out 500 weeks.
in a wrongful death situation.
In a wrongful death situation. And it's limited. I mean, that does limit it. In this case, the workers' comp carrier was trying to get most of that money back from the third-party recovery.
Okay.
But anyway, in North Carolina, you can go before a Superior Court judge and have that lien or amount owed back to the work comp carrier either eliminated or reduced.
Okay.
And that's what we were getting ready to do when we were able to reach an agreement. And I have to commend the work comp carrier for being reasonable enough to reach a reasonable agreement on what they get paid back. But in this case, we were fortunate to find a couple of layers of automobile insurance with the driver. She was driving someone else's vehicle. So as you've learned as the host of this show,
Absolutely.
that means there's another policy involved.
Right.
And there was actually a third policy that was available in that same household. And it did take some tracking and some research to get that done. But the end result was I can look Kathleen right in the eye and tell her that we did all that we could do. And it wasn't easy. I mean, it was, we faced some delays, but I have to really give everybody credit, and I don't give much credit to insurance companies these days, but they did move reasonably fast. And I kept telling them that she needed this money. This isn't a case where you just wait on the money and it's a windfall. This was money that she needed to live on.
Okay.
So that we did everything we could to get it done as expeditiously as we could.
Kathleen, when you first had those conversations with Bob about him representing you, what were you hearing? You talked to some other people as well, right? About the Whitley Law Firm.
Well, I have talked to my sister before, and she said she had him a couple of years ago. Well, I think it was in the 90s. And I have heard some good things, and I feel like he really cared. The first time I talked to him on the phone, I really feel like he was a person that he really cared. And I just had a lot of confidence in him.
Right.
I really did. No, I just thank for everything what he has done for me.
Kind of an intangible, really, right? I mean, when you're developing a relationship with an attorney who's representing you in this tragic situation, you have to mesh, right?
Yeah.
Well, you've got to mesh, and people that are suddenly put into her shoes, whether it's a death or a serious injury to a family member, they don't know what to do. And we talked about that a little today on the first segment,
right,
about the confusion. And, when you do select an attorney, I think experience is first. But the second thing, or right up there with that, is a comfort level. Because, like Kathleen was dealing with something very complicated, like third-party claims and workers' comp death benefits and workers' comp liens. And so she had to find someone, and fortunately we fit the bill, and she selected us to provide that information for her. And she's got to rely on that. And so when people are selecting an attorney, I think that's really important because you're going to be relying, you may not that day you hire them, you're not going to rely on them to do anything other than handle your case. But at some point you're going to have to get their opinion, you're going to have to get their advice about whether to conclude the case, whether to go forward with the case. So in order to be able to do that comfortably, you've got to have confidence in that lawyer. And that's why I also think experience is very important. But as much as I've helped her and as much as I've learned from her, I've benefited far more than she has from this relationship.
Kathleen, we have just about run out of time, but we want to thank you so much for being here today and for sharing your story with us.
I just want to share, I have told a lot of people about Bob Whitley at the NIA lawyer. I told them who to call. I told them my friends at church, and people at the bank, everywhere.
Good luck
Good for
to
you, Kathleen.
Good luck to you. And thanks so much for watching this edition of Attorneys on Call. We'll see you next time right here.